Holographic Mirror. Holographic Mirror enters your life today to reflect the flaws you see in others straight back at you. Why? Because to judge a fellow being simply means you know that energy in yourself. It is very difficult to judge energy that you do not know yourself. You either know the energy firsthand as it presents itself daily in your life, or know the struggle it takes to generate that energy, for you have convinced yourself that it is something that you lack. If neither of those, can you imagine what it would take to express that energy or fear it in yourself or another? The mirror challenges you to learn from your judgments. We as humans are very quick to point the finger and highlight the things we don't like in another. When casting judgments, the mirror asks you to look directly at yourself. Do you see this energy in yourself? Fear this energy in yourself? Or perhaps believe it is lacking? If we truly seek unity, we must learn to release judgment. Sometimes, when we judge another, it's because their energy contests that same energy in ourselves. For example, it is quite common for someone to not like another because they believe the person is opinionated, or perhaps even has a large ego. We've all either made that claim or heard another make it somewhere down the line. When this claim is made, it is usually made not because they dislike opinionated people, but because the opinion of the person challenges their own. If their opinion was the same, they may be best buddies. Does this mean that the individual placing judgment may fall into their very own judgment bracket? In this example, if the person holds up the mirror, they may themselves see that perhaps it's time that they may wish to broaden their perspective and become more accepting of other people's opinions. When you clash with another strong energy, it rivals your very own pleasure-seeking ego. Dominant energies tend to be challenged by other dominant energies because there can only be one winner. This brings about judgments like, they have such a huge ego, they are so competitive, they are so controlling. The ego is more concerned with winning, and so instead of facing the pain of deconstructing itself, it will seek to tarnish another. On the other hand, we can place these judgments because we have convinced ourselves that we lack what we see in another. This challenges us, especially if it's something we desire, because it causes us to see a flaw in ourselves, to dislike ourselves. In this situation, we can be quick to place judgment to save ourselves from pain. For example, if someone holds a large amount of self-confidence and we do not, we can be quick to label them as arrogant. We find their confidence overpowering. We know the challenge and struggle that it takes to generate that energy within ourselves, yet they seem to do it with ease. It leaves us feeling small and inadequate. Instead of seeing the energy as something we can learn about, we quickly judge, choosing to see their energy as a flaw or something undesirable. This is the pain-seeking ego. It will judge another so that we do not have to get out of our comfort zone. If we admit it's something we want, we are faced with the challenge of learning to cultivate it. Saying it's a flaw means we can remain in a state of comfortable pain. We may also see energy in another that we know sits in ourselves, an energy that we detest, that we try to avoid, that we try to pretend is not there. For example, every one of us is human, and so we get tired. It is safe to say that all of us, no matter how disciplined, know what it's like to lack discipline. We have all gone back on a promise to ourselves somewhere in life. If someone that typically sees themselves as disciplined and hard-working fears finding themselves short of energy or unable to complete the tasks they set for themselves, they may judge another for expressing the energy that they fear. This is our avoidance ego in action. It will seek to play like the energy it dislikes does not reside in itself. In this circumstance, they may play like they strongly dislike people they perceive as lazy, doing their best to disassociate with normal human feelings. In holding up the mirror, they may learn about their fears and how to accept all parts of their human nature, as well as accept those around them. Part of loving yourself is to love another for what you believe to be their flaws holds hands so tightly with yours. There is nothing wrong with judgment in itself. To say that there was would be rather hypocritical. To understand the effects of judgment and why we judge is powerful, as it reveals much to us. The challenge the mirror has for you is to begin to notice when you are judging another. Once that awareness has been built, take a moment to pause and ask yourself these questions. Is the energy I'm judging present in myself? Is the energy I'm judging one I believe I lack but secretly desire? Is the energy I'm judging one that I have experienced and wish to not exist in myself? Is this energy one I fear or believe compromises my safety? We all possess the same energies as each other, just simply in different quantities. We all know what it's like to feel pleasure and pain. We all know what it's like to exercise control and to feel small. We all have felt anger and frustration, been lazy, told a lie, overindulged, and held what we may call evil thoughts. To judge another is almost pointless because it sits in you somewhere too. To be honest with yourself and say, I know manipulation because I have been it, is certainly not easy, but at the same time, extremely powerful. To be honest with yourself and say, I don't like that person because I wish I could harness a little of the energy they express, is not an easy thing to say, but again, extremely powerful. To be honest with yourself and say, I hate what I see in them because it highlights something I hate in me, is not easy, but yet again, extremely powerful. Pay attention to every judgment you pass, be it on someone you truly believe to be evil, your rude next-door neighbour, your bossy mother, or that successful person that pops up on Instagram. Through understanding the bucket of energy, we can make space for love in our lives. When we accept the infinite combinations of energy that can be formed, humanity will evolve. When we release judgment, energy receives the opportunity to transcend into the spirit-fueled form. If there were no mirrors, the only way we would see ourselves is in our fellow beings.